You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, hello kids and cubs, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 150 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day, is Wednesday, June 27th, 2023, and it looks like it's going to be thunderstorms here at the Beaver Lodge. And that means my tennis match will probably be postponed. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, well. Also, I don't know if he's at the lodge this morning, but it is Kit Jim's birthday. So happy birthday to you, my friend. I hope you have a fantastic one. Good morning to you, Kit Elaine, Kit Linda, Kit Jillian, Kit Toronto D. Oh, I think you might be a happy man today. Good morning, Kit Jen. Hello, you lovely soul. Kit Daily Beaver, Kit. Let's see, who else do we have here? Mike H. Oh, lovely to see you. How you doing? I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Wednesday morning nibble for you, but first, Mr. Grizzly, how's your mental health today?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I'm not doing the best this morning. I purchased coffee yesterday, but I was not attentive because I was not caffeinated, so I ended up buying decaf coffee. So it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. It's just brown water at this point. Yeah, that's not what I need it for. I mean, I need a hot steaming beverage first thing in the morning, but it needs to be a caffeinated beverage because, Daddy doesn't get his caffeine, he gets a little sleepy. So yeah, I could be better. It's funny though.
It's just as funny the second time. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's good. It's good because it's funny. It is.
The kids need to understand that when we were talking before we started, I asked Mr. Grizzly how he was doing, and he told me this. I got the giggles right away, and I said I shouldn't be laughing. because I know for a lot of people, coffee is very, very vital. I can't
Really
relate,
is.
but I mean, so and he said, "Let's just start the show." And I thought, okay, well, I don't know, but it's just as funny the second time.
I think so. I think it's hilarious. And I'm the one suffering, but I think it's hilarious because it was my own ignorance. And anyway, here we
Oh
are.
wow. um, in the news, of course, the big headline that we were all watching in Canada was the results of the mayoral by-election in Toronto, and I think that we have something to be happy about.
Well, yeah, I think Toronto is moving in the right direction after years of well, conservative politics, if you want to call it that. Basically, crony capitalism, where they would just continue to serve their wealthy donor overlords and say screw the people. And tent cities get set up because of the homeless problem. And what do? They send in the police to break them up and arrest them. It's like, really? So I think Doug Ford's in for a bit of a shock here by awarding mayors with the extra powers. He's just awarded a mayor with extra powers that does not see eye to eye with him on what they're going to do to Ontario Place. He's in for some stuff, and I am here
Mm,
for it.
yeah, I was seeing tweets yesterday. Doug Ford is about to go through some things, and well, these types of jokes. And but yeah, so in case our listeners have been living under a rock, Olivia Chow, despite the massive effort from the entire Canadian conservative
Conservative,
movement, whether federal or
yes,
provincial or local, all, all like even like provinces outside of Ontario as well, like just all weighing in. I mean, we had a mayoral race in which the premier of the province timed Ford Fest
mm,
as some type of infomercial for Mark Saunders. Even put his like camp- campaign sign on his lawn. We had the mayor, ex-mayor John Tory, actually weighing in with an endorsement on the
yeah, that's weird, right?
race to replace him. That he resigned
Yeah, very bizarre.
nobly, but still in disgrace.
I don't understand it.
You should not be when you resign because of a scandal, you don't have any say. You should not be taking a public say in who should succeed you at all.
Agreed.
You should not be seen as organizing anything. You should just stay the out of it.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Oh,
is like
absolutely.
that's happening. Is like, is nobody going to say anything? Really, really? We're just going to let that slide now. Okay, right? And then you had Doug Ford actually saying that an Olivia Chow um, win would be a mitigated disaster. So, welcome to your mitigated disaster, Toronto.
Yes, you brought it upon yourself. The people have spoken.
Ah, you made him do this, Doug.
You forced his hand.
You made Toronto do this. They told you don't make us vote Chow. They told you, but you made him do it.
Hmm. Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Hmm? He tried it again, eh? It would be an
Oh yeah.
unmitigated disaster to vote for. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
This is a
This
good
time,
question from
this time,
Jillian.
yeah, yeah. This time, somebody slapped back, and that the other tweet was, "How soon?" Because Jillian has it right. How soon will he try to recall Queens Park? It's like, how soon are we going to start seeing a soft mayor powers bill?
She's
Oh, crap.
got literally, I mean, because the house is already adjourned for the summer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she can get to work immediately. Oh,
Mm.
Dougie, you did it to yourself. Short sightedness, can't see past the end of his nose, and look what he's done.
He thought he had it in the bag with Mayor Don Tory.
Hmm.
Of course, you always have to figure that everybody has a fatal flaw.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. That's why we all have a secret garden.
I'll tell you what my kryptonite is. I'll
I
tell
think
you
we
what
all
it
know
is
what
right now.
tonight is.
Oh, my kryptonite? It's when my lovely girlfriend, Bridget, comes over and starts to play music on her phone in my house. Here's the problem with that. Do you know how much audio equipment I have in my apartment? I have 2 sound systems in my bedroom, for Christ's sake. I have a recording studio. I have 20 grand worth of audio equipment on my console. And she's like, I'm just going to play something like not on your phone. I will connect a phone to a Bluetooth thing and you can play to your heart's content. But that's my kryptonite. I have spent 35 years building my sound system. 35 years, literally. It's 20 grand worth. 35 years of my life to build that because
Yep.
I don't have money. So, yeah. And she wants to play music on her iPhone. That's my kryptonite. She knows it. She's watching this right now. She's laughing her ass off. She does it now just to bug me because she thinks it's funny. It's my kryptonite.
Oh man. So yeah, Olivia Chow wins, and like you said, she can get right to work. And I think this might also create some problems from the green belt issue because I would assume, I may be wrong because I
Mm-hmm.
don't know the history, but I would assume, given her NDP roots, that maybe she already has some links into the Indigenous community.
I would think, yeah, yeah. It's about to get very interesting what takes place in Toronto. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm curious to see.
Mm-hmm,
I seem to be
mm-hmm,
having
mm-hmm.
some video problems on my end here. I don't know
Yeah.
what the issue is.
So it was a way tighter race than was expected,
Oh yes.
uh, because the effort to, um, well, basically everyone against Chow, there was a very, very coordinated right wing effort, and it seemed to all funnel in to Anna Bilal
Mm-hmm.
as campaign. And based on the polling projections, the amalgamated polling projections. Olivia Chow, like we saw with the graph, still that momentum that we saw did show up. She got a higher percentage of the vote
Mm-hmm.
than the final amalgamated poll showed, but so did Anna Bilal,
Oh yeah, she
and
did
by
get a.
and
It was
and
it
by
was
a
a
lot.
it was a tight race between the two of them actually.
And by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was saying that like something like Chow was going to get about like 33 something, and Bilal was going to get like 26 something, and it ended up being about a 5% spread, which is still important,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't close to double digits or double digits. Um, Mark Saunders did not do well.
No, no.
So a certain premier is wearing lots of egg on his face. um, Made a conciliatory statement that he intends to work with Olivia Chow after a few days earlier saying that it would be an unmitigated disaster. So, hello, Cirque du Soleil, if you need someone to do a tumbling pass for you.
I think we have somebody. We have someone for you.
He already would look good in a clown outfit, riding a
Well,
tricycle.
and I like this statement from Linda. As much as I like that she won, I love that Dougie's Choice Saunders did so badly.
That's the story. That's the narrative. Now add that on top of the PP not doing well in by-elections, in the all of a sudden, and Justin Trudeau suddenly flipping Ontario on the amalgamated poll so much that now the Liberals have the better chances of winning the most seats. And that's three statistical
Mm-hmm.
public telling you something knees right into the nards of the conservative movement. And on the
Are,
other side of the
are you
spectrum, you've got
hearing
Bernie that
seagulls or
picked
am
up
I
70.
losing my mind?
You're very, very fuzzy.
No, no,
Um,
no. I'm hearing seagulls.
oh, yes, yes, outside my window, yes.
Okay, then I'm not losing my mind. I'm
You're
like,
not
where
losing
the
your mind.
hell is that? You know, I can't do directional because of my hearing loss.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know where the hell it's coming. So, okay, good. so
Yeah.
I'm not losing my mind.
No, that was nature outside my window.
I'm not
Um,
smelling burnt toast, is what I'm getting at.
no. You're perfectly fine. These are
Thank you.
just
Good.
things that
Thank you.
happen at the Beaver Lodge.
Yeah, I
None
know.
of
I know. I know that. I know the camera's fuzzy. I don't know why. I think my processor, but I'm looking at all the numbers and it looks fine. So I don't know what's going on.
all
I
right.
might have to reboot.
All right.
Do it later.
Um, yes. So you've got the narratives of Saunders doing terribly, Ford wearing egg on his face, another blow to the conservative movement, which will probably in full blown panic now. Because, I mean, they've lost Fortress Toronto.
Hmm.
Sorry. Sorry. And now, also, Josh Matlow, who had been regarded by
Yeah.
many as having run the best campaign,
Agreed.
um, came very, 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 very close to taking fourth. So while Mark Fury is maybe going out saying, I finished fourth, it was like by tenths
Hmm.
of a percent. And he too did not get the polling. So all the extra that Anna Blau got came from Saunders and came from Fury.
Hmm.
It was a vote. But at the same time, it appears that that Main Street poll that came out saying that things were tightening and were within double digits prompted more people, or also acted to motivate the progressive vote to come out
Hmm.
as well. Um, Olivia Chow won some awards in Scarborough, which, according to the coverage I was watching on CP24, seemed to surprise the
Oh, okay.
people covering it. So I was like, she went out there? It's like, yeah.
Wow.
And when the concession speeches were given, Josh Matlow was fired up.
I did see his, and he was. You know what? He ran a great campaign, and I liked everything he had to say. I did.
Hmm.
I honestly did, and I think he could make a good politician someday.
Hmm.
He seems to believe everything he says. I don't think he's, saying things just to win points because he said, "Look, we need to fix the city, and we're going to have to pay for it." That's true.
Yeah,
It, it costs
things cost
money,
money.
and we need people to get over the fact. Well, Toronto, like the property taxes in Toronto are ridiculously low, like insanely low. I think they're the lowest in the country for a city over 1 million people.
Chow, a progressive NDP, campaigned on a modest property tax hike.
Hmm. And I think citizens have come to the realization that look, this has to happen. It has to
Yeah.
happen.
Polling after polling keeps on showing that people do not mind paying more taxes if they see what they get for it.
Case in point, all of Scandinavia. People in Scandinavia are proud to pay their taxes. They feel it's their civic honor and duty to do so. They also get to see a return on their investment, right? Because that's what taxes are: an investment in your future, an investment in your community, investment in your infrastructure. When you get to see that, people will support it.
Well,
There's going to
in
be
Finland, they get to see a country with no homelessness
none, zero. Yeah. Hmm.
because of the housing first strategy.
Hmm.
Right. And then, so, and then the other thing I was looking, oh, sorry, I was at the concession speeches. Yes, I saw that. I was hoping you would put that comment up. No, you are actually in real life that fuzzy from lack of caffeine, Mr. Grizz. I'm sure you can feel it.
Yes, I do feel that fuzzy.
I think your computer needs some caffeine too.
It may very well, yes.
um, the other concession speech I found interesting was actually Mitzi Hunter's. Mitzi Hunter's, sorry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
She was
I
also
love her
supportive.
speaking style.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
she was
mean,
also
it's not,
supportive.
yeah, but it's not loud and it's not in your face, and
Yeah.
it's slower.
Mhm.
Um, but it is really comforting and warm and
Well,
inviting.
y-
I
y-
I this is the first time I've ever seen her really speak. I
Mhm.
know that she's done some really. We've talked about her. She's done some great stuff with on trying to get guns off the street and that type of stuff. But she's I like her. Like immediately, I had very very wonderful impression of her.
Mhm. Well,
Um,
she had a decent platform as well, to be
yeah.
honest with you. I thought anyway, one that, good social programs, and let's make the city the place we want it to be. I mean, look, the city's been sold out to developers for years. I see a lot of that happening here in the city of Ottawa as well. And if you understand what I'm talking about, it's like there are more construction cranes in Ottawa now than there ever have been in the history of the city. It's just incredible the amount of construction going on here. So if you work in a trade and you need work, there's plenty here in Ottawa or Toronto. There's more work than you can handle. Oh, by the way, Montreal as well right now. Like it's just insane for development. I don't know who's paying for it. Every time I see a new construction crane go up, I'm like, who the hell is covering the cost of this? I know banks will invest, but if it's a condo, you have to have what, 70% sales before you can put a shovel in the ground?
Hmm.
Unless you're a certain developing developer in this city, in which case you're a multi-billionaire. So you just 20% sales, let's just build it. And I've
Hmm.
seen that company do it a number of times.
Yeah. Other things going on. Of course, there's some historical elements. Um, Olivia Chow becomes the first person of color ever
Hmm.
to become mayor in one of the world's most multicultural cities.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
how is this a first?
Yeah, I know. Weird,
In
right?
in a city like Toronto, particularly, how is this a first?
Hmm.
Yes. The first woman this century,
Hmm.
and only the third woman ever, and the first woman since 1977.
Yeah.
Again, only three women in
Yeah.
the whole history of Toronto?
And
Only
and
one person of
and
really?
Mississauga had Hurricane Hazel for what? 100
Ever.
years?
Ever. Right? So, like, and I mean, when's the last time we've seen a mayoral race in a major city where the women were the top two vote getters?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think, look, we say, smash the patriarchy, and there's a certain amount of that I completely agree with because old white men have been in power for far too long. And hey, guys, it's time to step aside and let the ladies give it a shot because I don't think they can make it any worse than it already is. And I'm
Mm.
saying that to appease the white males who may be listening to this and go into panic mode when they hear me say that. But it's like, listen, there are brilliant leaders out there that are women who should be given the opportunity because
Mhm.
look, a lot of people hate Trudeau, fine, but there's a great number of them that will say, well, he's been smart enough to surround himself with brilliant women. I mean, Freeland, Anand, Jolie, come on, that's an all-star lineup right there. And there are
Mhm.
people who hate those women because they're women in positions of power and are way more accomplished than most white men who just continually fail up in life. I know I'm sort of ranting this morning, but come on, like it's time we step aside and give somebody else the opportunity. Like if you fail, you fail, but let them fail on their own merit. Let them succeed on their own merit. Like
Give them an
just
extra equal chance to fail or succeed.
exactly, exactly. I mean, I don't
Right?
think they can make it any worse, right?
Jeez.
Like,
And two other
although,
sort of
although, although, hang on, one sec. Let's stop for just a second. Every now and then, there's an example of, oh, that was a bad decision. The
Julie Payette,
province of Alberta.
Jody Wilson-Raybould.
Yeah, every now and then there's going to be
I
an
know.
example of
Yeah.
it, and you're going to have the patriarchy say, "See, that's
Discuss.
why we can't." I'm like, "Oh, for Christ's sake!"
Well, that was the one thing, right? But that was the same pressure that President Barack Obama faced,
Yes.
right? He had to be the perfect human being.
Period.
He had to basically be a human unicorn because
Hmm.
oh my god, we can't do that again. And he was a perfect unicorn. They still did it. Oh my god, we can't do that again because then they started to change election laws and tried to eventually just
Hmm.
mount a coup. So it was like, wow, gee, that's a lot of blacklash.
Oh, that was good. That was good. You can TM me.
Uh,
Oh, that's probably been said before, hasn't
Probably, I would assume.
it? Yeah.
The other two things I noticed, talking about concession speeches. This guy. What do you notice?
Kids aren't too close to him.
There is a. Where's the color?
What do you mean?
This is all gray.
Oh. I'm like the
His
white
suit
people.
is
So.
gray. His blue has some grayish in it. The background is gray. She's wearing black. All of this, his campaign thing is gray. And then I went back and it made me think immediately this again, all muted dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was trying to present himself as the momentum candidate. Can you say drab? And this is what I don't understand is that the room where you're going to do your concession speech or your victory speech, that's picked out long before. They knew what color that drape was behind them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who recommended he wear that? Who recommended they all wear that?
I don't know.
Who recommended that color?
His
You know,
kids are like, I'm tired.
don't
I
make
want
it
to go home.
white. Put a pop of color somewhere there.
Yeah.
This is boring as, dude.
His wife
Clearly,
looks
you have
like
no gay friends.
his wife looks like that actor.
Oh no,
What's her
sorry.
name? She used to, she appeared on Law and Order SVU for a number. There was like a multi-arc episode where she ran like a sex ring or something like that. I can't remember the
Nope.
name of the actor, but she kind of looks like her. I'm not insinuating anything by that. By the way, I'm just
No.
that
Yeah.
was the role
Yeah.
I remember.
Yes.
No,
So that's like, oh, that's an interesting example.
no, that was not Freudian by any stretch of the imagination. It was just the most prominent role I could remember her in recently. She looks just like her, but I can't remember what her name is. She's been in a ton of stuff. She's been a character actor for decades, but I
Yeah.
can't remember her name.
Okay.
But she looks like her.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a little. I don't know. The PR guy in me just said, "Dude, you should." I was just gonna say he has no gay friends, but John Baird.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's an unfabulous gay person. So
John is
John is also pretty gray.
very. I know John.
I keep on telling you, kids. I know it's Pride Month like this, but we're not. Not all of us are fabulous.
Yeah, not everybody's fabulous.
No, it's like if you're a fabulous gay person and you're surrounded with a whole bunch of other fabulous gay persons, the first time you meet your unfabulous gay person, it's like meeting your hero and they turns out to be a dick. It's soul crushing. It is soul crushing.
I'll take your word for it. I think that's
It
hilarious.
changes your world.
That's funny.
Moving on. It takes all kinds to make a world. There are unfabulous gay people.
Mm.
Just like the one, because we have like the not a drag queen and not a trans. Every time somebody gets attacked, arrested for pedophilia, because one day there will be a trans person or a gay person who will be arrested for pedophilia, and that person will become the poster boy or poster girl.
Oh yes, yeah.
For forever.
They represent the entire spectrum.
Yes, but it's like, well, of course there will be at least one.
Odds
statistically.
Yeah.
It takes all kinds. I don't understand why people find this difficult.
Oh, I have a graphic for you. I
concept.
need to show you. I don't know if you saw this last night. This is sort of in the realm of what you just spoke about. It's right on the periphery. Let me put this on the screen and then we'll leave it up for a second, then I'll read it out loud for the listeners. This person has issues.
Yep.
This is at Sister Inferior. Her name is Kaya Masters. Here's what you ghouls don't understand. Now, this part I'm going to have a hard time reading. I will accept. This is what this woman has to say, not me, because no. This woman has to say this. I will accept one 10-year-old forced to give birth to her father's child every year to stop 30,000 plus other abortions.
Mm-hmm.
You sick, twisted individual. You need counseling.
Yep. But here's the thing: when she says, "Here's what you ghouls don't understand,"
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, I understand that fully.
Yeah.
I understand that you would do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I do understand. You're not telling me anything that does not.
We already know
This is
this.
not a shock.
No.
We understand.
Yeah. And
We
she's
understand
calling
that you would
us the
do that.
ghouls, though. We're the
Yeah,
ghouls.
yeah. But we understand that you would do that. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes.
We see you. Trust us. We see you very clearly.
We know exactly who you are.
We understand, sister.
What a
We
what a
understand full well.
disgusting human being.
Seriously. Seriously. Speaking of disgusting human beings, um, the last little tidbit from the mayoral thing was I had a personal sort of wager with the universe as to whether a certain celestial candidate
Mm-hmm.
would get the over or under on 1%.
Oh, and
And literally, by the slimmest of margins, Mr. Grizzly, I have to announce that the people who took the over 1% rather than the
wow.
under on Chris Sky won 1.1%.
So
Damn.
there's
I was
eight.
really hoping for at least 0.9.
There's at least 8,001 people in Toronto who need therapy.
But now, and I'm trademarking it here, henceforth, he shall be known as Mr. 1.1%.
Mm-hmm.
They're all
1.1%.
with us. Everybody supports us. No, they fucking don't.
Just because you have a bunch of cheerleaders standing behind you, cheering you on, does not mean that's everybody.
Ooh, breaking news.
Oh, what's that?
Breaking news. Kit Mateo
Oh, yes.
graduates kindergarten today.
Way to go, little buddy.
There you go, man.
You're
Applause.
you're going to be a big boy before you know it. You'll be in grade 1 in September, and it's all uphill from here.
Well
It's all
done, my
uphill
friend.
from here.
The eager beaver says, way to go, little man. That's the way to do it.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get you a diploma. Do
Go
they give
get your
diplomas?
education.
Do they give diplomas for kindergarten graduation? I don't know.
I don't know.
I graduated kindergarten in 1972, so
Yeah, 78. So I don't give me a diploma when I graduate kindergarten. Give me an ice cream cone.
I don't remember. I don't think we graduated. I just think we passed. Because I remember
Yeah.
being on the swing set swinging, I passed to grade 1. I passed to grade 1. We
Really?
used
You
to
did
do
that?
that. Oh, yeah. Every year when we, pass to the next grade. I passed to grade 2.
Oh, that's so cute and
I remember it like it
adorable.
was yesterday, man. Cold Lake, Alberta on the swing set. I passed to grade 2.
Oh, I love that. That is so cute. Nope, we did nothing like that. Of course, I went to French school, so.
J'ai passé le grade 2. No.
I
That
don't.
was more
Je m'en
Franglais
vais
than
en
anything else.
deuxième année. Je m'en vais en deuxième année.
That doesn't quite roll off the tongue the same way, does it?
Probably not.
Mm,
All right. Let's see. How much more time do we have, Mr. Grizzly?
about 5 minutes.
Ooh, about 5 minutes. Okay. Let's see what I have here very quickly.
Celebration
So
of
I would
learning.
say, yes. Oh,
Celebration of
wonderful.
learning. Yes, I like
I
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, at that age, that's very good.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a celebration of learning because that's what it is, right? Realistically.
Yeah. All right. So that was the Toronto mayor stuff. Let's see, what else do we have here? A little bit of climate news.
Oh,
The federal government today will release its updated climate adaptation strategy. And there are various groups like the Pembina Institute that wants adaptations included in it that better reflect the urgency.
mm,
Uh, and in particular, for example, to ensure that everybody has access to cool air inside, no matter what the conditions are outside,
right.
because the world's getting hotter and with forest fires, breathing bad air, which requires better insulation and moving to heat pumps, which is what we're trying to do here at the Beaver Lodge. And we're
Hmm.
applying for grants, right? So we've got the Canada Energy Grant in
Oh,
Kingston
excellent.
right now. There's a pilot project called Better Homes Kingston, where the city is offering people up to 10% of the assessed value of their property on an interest-free loan that gets put on their tax bill for 20
Oh,
years,
well, that
like this to upgrade.
that
If
makes
you
life a lot easier, right?
Yeah, like this. Well, yeah, absolutely. So it's to because a good chunk of our GHG emissions are coming from our homes.
Hmm.
So we have to change them and adapt them. And if we can keep our homes cooler without using gas furnaces, so for example, by taking the heat from the air and converting it to heat or to cool air, well, that would make a lot of changes.
Well,
And
you
as
can,
carbon taxes are going up, the prices of oil and whatnot and gas are going to go up. Over time, there's going to come a critical point where having one of these things is going to save you more money than
oh,
if you don't.
yes. Well,
Right?
and you've got the group out there who goes, look, I get that Canada per capita contributes more greenhouse gases than anybody. I get that. But we're only 40 million people, so it's just a drop in the bucket. So why are we doing this? I'm like, because it's the right thing, you chowderhead.
Hmm.
Y- Okay. I know that I'm making a mess, but somebody else is making a bigger mess. So I'll just continue to make a mess. That is not how you do it.
But it's also not true. I mean, other countries are putting out a lot. But
Yes.
when you're talking about per capita, like this, we're hogs.
Oh, yeah,
We are
we
taking
are.
way more than our fair share. I
Well,
was like,
and it's
well, we live in a
because
northern country. We live in like a, so do the Swedes,
so do the Swedes. Yeah.
right? So the Norwegians, so do the Finns. I mean, that we're not special.
No.
Okay, we have large landmass with big distance, and things cost more.
And extreme temperature fluctuations between the
Yes,
seasons because they get the Gulf Stream, which keeps their, even though they get a lot of snow in Scandinavia, they don't get the extreme cold that we
no,
get.
no. So it's just, yes, it is harder for us. There's no doubt,
Hmm.
but it
Hmm.
doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be done, and it doesn't mean that whole thing. We're not even. We produce like 1 to 2% of the world's GHGs, and we are far from 1.2% of the world's population.
Yeah. So think about that for a second, right? I
That
mean,
one, that little 1.2 that we contribute, that wouldn't make it. Actually, yeah,
yeah.
it makes a huge
Well,
difference,
and consider 1 or 2 degrees rise in the nation in the planet's oceans, and
right? So Ryan Ness of the Canadian Climate Institute says that the federal funding for climate change adaptation has really lagged the funding that's been given to growing clean economy and reducing emissions. So we're putting money in those things, but we've not put so much into adaptation. So we need to do that. Caroline Brouillette, who's the head of the advocacy group Climate Action Network Canada, says we're seeing lots of political momentum for addressing the converging climate and debt crises. This one's on the world stage because we reported on the UN climate conference that was in Montreal, the biodiversity one, and then the climate conference in Egypt.
hmm.
And at that point, I think it was the Prime Minister of the Barbados, Mia Mankey, Markley, who commented that the global north borrows at interest rates of between 1 to 4%, but the global south borrows at 14%.
Yes,
So
this
what
is
can
true.
happen is that when you get a climate disaster and then you have to take on debt, now you're taking debt and you're borrowing, and then you can't take your climate action. So the World Bank has agreed that it would suspend debt payments for countries facing natural disasters. The IMF will direct more of its financing towards climate change issues. And later this year, wealthy nations will finally reach the goal of $100 billion per year in climate financing for the global south. So there
Wow.
is some progress. There is some progress, and Canada supports those all those calls for help, including the plans to compensate the global south. And we were actually one of the first Western countries to agree to have a real conversation about the issue, even when it wasn't well received by our partners.
Mm.
So there you go. And the guy from the Bahamas, Barbados, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Markley, had a quote that was really interesting, and it applies not only to this but to everything. Rules are made by us; they are not made to break us.
That's right. That's good.
That applies for everything. So this
Mm,
whole paranoia thing
mm.
that's going on, we get to make the rules.
That's right. It's not made by somebody else. And you know, as time has gone on, we've discovered that that's a bad rule. We'll change that. Slavery was once legal. Remember that? That was a
Mm-hmm.
bad rule. Let's change that. There's just one example of probably thousands that over the last 100 years we've discovered. You know, that's not good what we're doing. Let's do something better instead. We can change the rules. They're
Mm-hmm.
not made to break us. You're absolutely right. He's a genius, or he or she. I don't know. I don't know.
He,
He. Okay.
yeah.
That's a very insightful individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to read up on this person.
Yeah. So Prime Minister of Barbados, everyone, if you have a moment. All right, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
Yes, we do, and I have to get to the office, so let's wrap
Okay.
things up. And
Well,
and
speed
I'll,
through it.
I'll I'll have caffeine tomorrow, so I'll probably be a little less mellow. I don't know. Do you like the less mellow? Or do you like the mellow, or do you like the little bit more fired up, Mister Grizzly? You tell me, folks. You let us know in the comments, and I'll switch to decaf if that's the case.
I like a little from column A and a little from column B. Variety is the spice of life.
Good to know. Good to know.
And that's why I was a PR guy. There you go. Well, kids, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver podcast. I told you I was very good at what I did.
Mm,
We hope you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please let your peeps know about us. Let your poops know about us too, because democracy is something that you do. Well, you know what? If you're in Toronto, take a day off. You did
you've
good.
earned it,
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back.
but I'm not paying you.
You capitalist.
I can't afford it.
Uh, if you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated. Some programming notes. I think I will be with Dean today.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a live thing, but because we're recording earlier than normal.
Yeah. So it's
But
probably broadcast
so
for
it'll
tomorrow,
probably be
probably.
recorded. But I will be on Dean's today, trying to make up for the last week when I couldn't make it. And Joe from That Nerd Dad
Oh, cool. He's going to be
has
on.
asked me to come and do an interview talking about pride related stuff. And
Cool.
so, yeah, so that'll be fun. So watch for that. That will be coming out soon.
Good
All right.
stuff.
We'd love to hear from you. Reach us on our Facebook, True North Eager Beaver, Twitter at True Eager, and by email, truenortheagerbeaver at gmail.com. Oh, I like that, Jen. Damn fam. I like that. You can subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com/, the True North Eager Beaver, or to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel. Please smash those buttons, as Elaine says. Mm-hmm. There you go. There was that squiggly to get to our pod cage, our pod page. Not, we also have a pod cage, but that's completely different.
It's a
We
different
can't do.
podcast.
I said pod cage. Really, I did.
It's a different podcast altogether.
That's
It's
that's where I sleep at night. I sleep in the pod cage, like a little kitty cat or a puppy. You know, when they sleep, they go
oh,
sleep in the cage.
okay.
Come on, man.
Mr. Leather.
I know, but not like 24/7.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
At least not me. uh, oh boy, oh, I got thrown here. We can't do this without your, oh boy, kind and generous support. So if you feel we've done a particularly good show, oh my, if you're watching, you can scan the QR code at the top left to find our Coffee Hot Chocolate Hydration Fund. And if you're listening, let your fingers do the walking or use your voice command and go to coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver to make your donation. Oh, and Kid James, I see you there. Yeah, um, Casual Friday, maybe? I don't know if you're doing one this one. I don't know.
Thanks again
And
for dinner last Friday, brother. I really do appreciate that. James treated Bridget and myself to dinner at Al's Steakhouse. He wanted a
oh,
steak, and so I said, "Yeah, Al's Steakhouse is great. It's just up the street." And yeah,
yeah.
so we went and had dinner.
Oh, lovely. So nice that you go. Oh, great, great. Oh, lovely. Um, I can't wait to meet him in person yet. It still hasn't happened. Um, all right. So yeah, we did the coffee thing. Yep, absolutely. So ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver to make your donation. Thank you very much. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying until next time, dear kids, it could be a tough world out there. So please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, words of wisdom.
Well, James seems to think I owe him a Brazilian lady, so it's like, if you really want a Brazilian, I'll pay for a Brazilian.
How much is a Brazilian?
I don't know.
Is
That was the
it
George
bigger than a
Bush joke.
billion?
That was the George Bush joke, right? The last couple of days in office, and he's sitting there and reading over his briefs, and he sees this thing, and he goes, 6 Brazilian soldiers died on maneuvers in the Andes Mountains. He goes, oh my God, that's just terrible. That's terrible, Dick. That's terrible. I can't imagine the loss of humanity. That's just so tragic. Dick Cheney's looking at him like, wow, that's taking that really hard. That's just terrible. 6 Brazilian soldiers. My goodness gracious me. That's just terrible. I didn't know we had soldiers in the Andes Mountains. Tell me something again, Dick. How many is a Brazilian?
Oh, ooh, ooh. James says he'll take the Brazilian just for the nudity. Just for the nudity. Okay, we're going off the rails.
Yes, and we have to wrap. I got to get to the
Ooh,
office.
I don't think the world is ready for that smooth a James. We like our James a little rough around the edges.
All righty.
Well, you are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
I need to do some edits on the outro. I gotta that long blank passage where the music is supposed to end. It's driving me nuts. It's just it takes time to do it, which is why I haven't done it. It's like each element. Like you have to understand that thing is made up of multiple elements.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the please subscribe. That's got multiple elements. I have to move everything around. So that's created. So it's just cutting everything together. But anyway, it's a lot of work, and I'm not happy about it. But there you are. The OCD in me won't allow it anymore. I have to fix it.
I think he's just tired of seeing me speed up my dancing at the end.
No, it's the long pause because when I have to edit the audio to cut the silence out, right? And it's like, damn it. Otherwise, I could just cut and paste and go. But no,
I gotcha.
Anyway, it's the extra work. All righty.
All right, kids.
We'll see you.